way out in Arizona on Route 66. I saw a dinosaur, or was my eyes playing tricks? I looked again, and to my surprise, it was only imitation in natural size. Off to my right, I happened to see dinosaur cabins in front of me. A sign said enter, so I was on my way. I was headed down the road to the dinosaur cave. There were people everywhere, so I fell in line to go down and hear about the story in town. An elevator took me to the main floor, down to the home of the dinosaur. The beauty down here was once unknown, but way back then, dinosaurs roamed. So through the cave, the walk began. I was on my way to the devil's den. Then the guide told the story of how the cave was found, and said if you will listen, you can probably hear the sound of a dinosaur cry coming from the devil's den. And the devil laughed and said, come on in. Now he said the devil lived down here alone. Fiery red were the rocks of stone. Well, the devil's gone, but where'd he go? The guide said he's just a little further below. Now, by this time, it was plain to see I was getting nervous and jittery. I'm not afraid, don't get me wrong, but I was sure glad there were people alone. Now, when I came out, I was feeling fine, till I drove back by that dinosaur sign. Something happened that I couldn't prove, but I'd swear I saw that dinosaur move. Hey, look at that cat sitting up there. Looking at me. Well, I wonder what he's thinking about. Hey, Mr. Dinosaur, you looking at me, man?
I bought myself a CB, and in case you don't know, the thing is called a two-way radio. I set an antenna on the top of my shack and started yelling breaker, and the boys came back. He said, what's the handle? And I said, that old crow. I'm the moonshiner on this old Channel 4. He told me I was welcome in the Struttering clan, and then I heard a breaker for the handyman. I had that darn set for a day or two, just when I thought I could never get through. Someone in a Mobile was a-breaking for me. It was the cornball voice of the Hercules. Just when old Herc and I started to chat, I heard a big noise and I said, what is that? He said that Donald Duck with the great big quack was breaking for a guy they called the Cactus Jack. Now old Hercules had nothing to say. Every time he tried, he found the duck in his way. Herc just sat with his mouth open wide, saying, gone, 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 I'm on the side. There's that old painter with the bulging hip. You can find him there when he's shooting skip. He thinks he has a guy they call the Texas Slim, but it's only Bo Weevil tuning him in. If your CB had a boob tube, you might take a look at the smiling face of the Sunny Brook. That old Bob White sitting on the side, waiting for the fights on a Friday night. Oh, Curley, take one. There's a lot of sea beers out there on the air. If you'll only try, you will find them there. You may catch one with a familiar ring, and if you do, the chances are that it's bootlegger king. He may be a breaking for the little flat tire, the Barbie doll or the pretty starfire. Even old Okie that you hear now and then are breaking for a quickie with that old kingpin. The names go on and it seems they don't end. Each and every one I wanna call them my friend. Keep on a shouting at my old CB. If that ain't enough, you welcome in my tree. And the old mule Skinner, especially him, has an old invitation to climb on my limb. Fast draw the silver bullet too. Just give me a break and I'll get back to you. With that, good people, I'll back out of here. So with 7s, 3s, 8s where I fly. This old crow is a going to fly. So good night, lazy bone.
Well, who's brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat? One little bell so a guy can tell whenever it's time to scat. There's not many things that I won't do, but there's gotta be a limit to that. And I'm not brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat. I've got a lot of friends and they all know where I'm at if they get in a jam. They all know I'm gonna help them out, that is if and when I can. But one day a friend said his wife caught him 'cause he didn't know where she's at. Better separate or just call it fate, there's nothing I can do about that. Well, who's brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat? One little bell so a guy can tell whenever it's time to scat. There's not many things that I won't do, but there's gotta be a limit to that. And I'm not brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat. There's a little poker game on Friday night right after the boys get paid. But the word is out and without a doubt anytime there'll be a raid. My dad's on the force, that's the reason of course that I can spill the beans. He's rough and tough and for me too much if you know just what I mean. Happens to me when I step out to have me a drink. I look at the clock and I tell myself it's later than I think. And though it seems I have only sat on the stool for just a while, there's a scratch on the door and in a second more I hear that little white growl. Well, who's brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat? One little bell so a guy can tell whenever it's time to scat. There's not many things that I won't do, but there's gotta be a limit to that. And I'm not brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat. And I'm not brave enough to hang a little bitty bell on a big old pussycat.
Well, I'm just sitting here, puffin' and a puffin'. That old gray smoke is rolling down my nose. My fingers and my thumb have all turned yellow. I'm getting nicotine in my best Sunday clothes. Can't be sick, can't be sick. I want to live a long time, I don't want to die quick. And it looks like my troubles are just now starting. I gotta go to the store and get another carton. Well, I recall just the other day, my best friend and I went fishing in the bay. And about the time I thought I had it by, I heard him holler, have you got a light? Can't you dig? Can't you dig? I want to live a long time, I don't want to die quick. And it looks like my troubles are just now starting. I gotta go to the store and get another carton. busy as could be, had all that I could carry, neither hand was free. When I got to the door, couldn't even reach the latch, I heard someone holler, have you got a match? Candlestick, candlestick, I want to live a long time, I don't want to die quick. And it looks like my troubles are just now starting. Gotta go to the store and get another carton. Me and my best girl was out the other night, and she said, now honey, I'd rather switch than fight. We were a-hugging and a kiss, and you bet. Then she jumped and hollered, have you got a cigarette? Candlestick, candlestick, I want to live a long time, I don't want to die quick. And it looks like my troubles are just now starting. I gotta go to the store and get another carton.
Right in the middle of the center of the desert I live, where the sun always shines and the rain it never gives. Oh, you can look for miles just as far as you can see, and you'll never see nothing that resembles a tree. Oh, the water's all gone and the grass is drying up in the yard. I don't know why I ever worked so hard. You build this home just for you and me. Now I'm right in the middle of a place called misery. That day when you moved in here and you said you'd always stay, but like the water you've gone and there's no sign of life. Oh, nothing but sand and no flowers, no trees or no wife. Yeah, right in the middle of the center of the desert I live. Yeah, right in the middle of the center of the desert I live. Yeah, right in the middle of the center of the desert I live. Yeah, right. Run, 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 run for your life. An Indian brave is coming and he's got his scalping knife. He will take your pretty curls and in the scorching sun until your eyeballs melt. So run, 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 run for your life. An Indian brave is coming and he's got his scalping knife. Beyond the mountain I can see smoke signals in the sky. The signals say before sundown that all white men must die. War paint smeared from ear to ear and the devil's in your eye. I'm running hard at making time, but oh, that fearful cry. So I run, 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 I'll run for my life. 1,000 redskins after me and all has scalping knives. So run, 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 run for your life. An Indian brave is coming and he's got his scalping knife. He will take all white men's scalps that he gets a chance, so he can show the pale-faced scalps that his tribe wore dance. So run, 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 run for your life. An Indian brave is coming and he's got his scalping knife. An Indian brave is coming and he's got his scalping knife.
Medicine, the man can't cure me, brave. Don't cry, that's a engine law. Me not like all other engines, me lose pretty squaw.
Paint my face and do the war dance. Gonna win her back again. Beat the tom-tom, give smoke signals. I'm on the warpath once again. Me have horses, me have cattle, plenty corn grow big and tall. Me have TP good and ready, but me lose pretty squaw. Paint my face and do the war dance, gonna win her back again. Beat the tom-tom, give smoke signals, I'm on the warpath once again. Just don't have heart trouble. Big brave don't lose nerve at all. But big smoke get in the eyes when me lose pretty squaw. Paint my face and do the war dance. Gonna win her back again. Beat the tom-tom, give smoke signals. I'm gonna walk out once again.
Tiny Texan stood about 5 feet tall. By the way, he used a 6-gun, old man dad called him small. He rode into a border town, a smile upon his lips, a cigar clutched between his teeth, and a 6-gun on his head. Climbed down from his stallion and stood up straight with pride. Then Tony checked his 6-gun and returned it to his side. He turned and slowly walked to the board across the street. He asked the barkeep for a beer, his voice was high and mean. A tall, dark stranger at the bar began to laugh him down. Tony turned with angry eyes, his smile turned to a frown.
Folks, this is Pecos Bill, speaking to you directly from hell. I'm telling you a story about the meanest woman I ever knew, and her name was a Wichita Nell. Now her hair was as black as a raven, and her heart was black as coal. To win her love I gladly gave the goodness of my soul. She built me up and she let me down like a yo-yo on a string. And for the love of a woman like Nell, men did most everything.
All for the love of Wichita Nell. All for the love of Wichita Nell.
Now she took the gold she knew I'd stole, for which 2 men had died. She took everything else, including my heart, but she still wasn't satisfied. She caught me asleep one day and slipped away, and went right into town, and told the law I'd killed 2 men. She'd seen me gun them down.
All for the love of Wichita Nell. All for the love of Wichita Nell.
But I found out what she had done. For gold she'd trade my life, but she'll never live to spend that gold or be no other man's wife. Oh, she's down here beside me now, where she'll hurt no other men. But when we met down here in this blazing hell, things sure were different then.
All for the love of Wichita Nell. All for the love of Wichita Nell.
And say, folks, one more thing. If you're thinking of coming down here, take my advice and forget it.
All for the love of Wichita Nell. All for the love of Wichita Nell. All for the love. He gave me a hand after all. I may not look so much like you. My arms are short, my legs are too, no feet to run, no hand to hold, yet satisfied here in my soul. He gave me a hand after all, he lends his ear whenever I call. Through him I stand and never crawl. He gave me a hand after all. He gives me work, he gives me rest, he gives me strength to do my best. He gave me this guitar to play, he gave my voice to sing his praise. He gave me a hand after all. He lends his ear whenever I call. Through him I stand, I never crawl. He gave me a hand after all. He gave me a hand after all.
Who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? dark and stormy night. Someone out in the middle of the field, someone or something said, I will. It was awful hot and muggy that day. A storm was a-brewing, it was blowing my way. I'm a bachelor and I live all alone. Don't have much to call my own. On my door there was a note that read, you won't be alone tonight in bed. Who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? Who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? Something out at the edge of the field, someone or something said, I will. What it was I was afraid to say. I knew one thing, it was aiming to stay. Tell you the truth, so listen close. I'm not that type that believes in ghosts. But after reading the note left there, I wasn't afraid, I was just plain scared. Who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? Who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? Something out at the edge of the field, someone or something said, I will. Lightning flashed, and I could see something standing by that big oak tree. Horns on his head, tail like a mouse. I jumped in my truck and I cut out. A minute later I was doing 100 when I settled back and began to wonder, who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? Who's gonna sleep with me this dark and stormy night? Something clicked on top of the cat, stuck his head in the window and said, I will.
Colonel Glenn left the Cape about 9:45. He said, look out, your Sputnik, this rocket's gonna jive. As the rocket fired up, all America stood by, but Colonel Glenn wasn't worried, he was going to fly. Our spaceman did come back,
Oh yeah.
our spaceman did come back. He's the bravest man that you ever seen. He passed up 2 rockets and a Sputnik machine. He's the flyest man you ever seen. Our spaceman did come back. Far up above, the rocket roared out of sight. Then Glenn called the Cape, everything's alright. On Glenn went until he entered outer space. He said, look out, your Sputnik, we're going to win this race. Our spaceman did come back.
Oh yeah.
Our spaceman did come back. He's the bravest man that you ever seen. He passed up 2 rockets and a Sputnik machine. He's the finest man you ever seen. Our spaceman did come back. Glenn looked out ahead and about a half an hour and he saw Boson Sputnik trying to rev up the power. The capsule passed the Sputnik about 5,000 per, but the bozo got worried. Colonel Glenn was out of gear. Our spaceman did come back.
Okay.
Our spaceman did come back. He's the bravest man that you ever seen. He passed up 2 rockets and a Sputnik machine. He's the flyest man you ever seen. Our spaceman did come back. 3 times around the world, Colonel Glenn zoomed away. He had won the race, which was needless to say. America's gonna build a record of putting outer space soon to move them broken down Sputniks, which was headed for the moon. Our spaceman did come back.
Oh yeah.
Our spaceman did come back. He's the bravest man that you ever seen. He passed up 2 rockets and a Sputnik machine. He's the flyest man you ever seen. Our spaceman did come back.
Oh yeah.
Our spaceman did come back.
Oh yeah.
Our spaceman did come back.
Okay.
Our spaceman did come back.
Well, they woke me at 5 and took me straight to the pad. Everybody was happy, but I was feeling sad. The The rocket is ready on time. Oh Lord, are they out of their mind? Or am I gonna be the first man on the moon? Yes, they trained me hard to make me brave and strong, but they haven't told me how long I'd be gone. They say everything is alright. I'm gonna see some new sight, that I'm gonna be the first man on the moon. The rocket is ready and frosting over the side, and as they make ready, I'm looking for a place to hide. Now everything is go, 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 and I'm the star of this new show. Oh, I'm gonna be the first man on the moon. Then they put me in a thing they called a capsule. It was right up front, they said I'd have a first class view. Now everything is a-okay, pretty soon I'll be on my way. Looks like I'm gonna be the first man on the moon. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Good golly, it looks like that I just passed the sun. Now the ship is a-okay. Now I'm passing the Milky Way. Yes, I'm gonna be the first man on the moon. Yes, I'm gonna be the first man on the moon. Yes, I'm gonna be the first man on the moon.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
With these words, men then embarked upon a plan so bold, a journey to the planet moon, a treasured dream of old. With each heart beating wildly, they thundered through the sky. The prayers of all the world were there, their job was do or die. Knowing well what lay ahead, if anything went wrong, with courage yet unequal, they traveled with a song. A million parts assembled there from all across our land, man's greatest test of faith shone through their lives in others' hands. 2 days they sped through darkness, the unknown lay ahead, the time of truth approaching, each man could soon be dead. With nerves of steel they got the word, the time of descent came, each held their breath, each did their job, with their mission end in flame. Their faith was not misplaced that day, for everything went fine. Precision was the byword, they landed right on time. Then from the strange machine there came unsteadily at first a man descending step by step, the last could be the worst. But just as all had promised, his fears were laid to rest. His foot was planted on the moon, man's dreams had passed the test. Neil Armstrong spoke softly, recorded for all time. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for all mankind. His words were hardly spoken when Aldrin stepped outside. He wasn't first because someone much higher must decide. 3 hours seemed a lifetime as 2 men searched the dust for things to bring back home to earth where knowledge is a must. Then all too soon the time had come, their visit at an end, but others would return someday with more time there to spend. With Collins circling overhead, their taxi back to earth, the final test successful, they'd prove their awesome worth. Back safely with their loved ones, these men of history are waiting for their next great task wherever it may be. Are waiting for their next great task wherever it may be.
If the monkey lives on the moon, I wanna go there very soon. I wanna take my girl with me, but on a trip up to the moon. Be first boy, first girl that ever made love on the moon. We go up there in a rocket ship and we step out on the moon. After being in space, she have a new face, and I just don't wanna change my tune. I love her like no time. Let a little girl mine on mine. Well, up to happy I am crying. The day that she's all mine. First boy, first girl that ever made love on the moon. On the moon, I wanna go there very soon. Gonna take my girl with me, but on a trip up to the moon. Be first boy, first girl that ever made love on the moon. We go up there in the rocket ship and we step out on the moon. After being in space, she have a new face, and I just don't wanna change my tune. Well, I don't you believe I'd like to have that in Tennessee, but on the Grand Old Lobster, you just wait and see. First boy, first girl that ever made love on the moon.
Now I saw a flying saucer over and over the trees, and I told everybody no one would believe. Now I tried to get someone to believe what I saw, but I found that my friend wouldn't listen anymore, for they thought that I was crazy, crazy as can be, because the flying saucer I really did see. Now it looks sort of misty, a weird sort of thing, yet I know it possessed not one single wing. It just disappeared out of my sight, and I didn't see it go left or to the right. I guess no one will believe me. They just don't want to know that there are other people than right here below. I guess some may be chosen to see visions in the sky, so they are to the world the ones to prophesy that it might be the angels from heaven descend, who have come for the people if the world should ever end. For Noah built an ark when he heard there'd be a flood, but in atomic warfare, what good is Noah's tub? Still no one will believe me, no matter what I do. But in the great disaster, I bet you pray it's true.
but an evil mind. I'm the invader, an alien being, and I'm seeking out the lonely every night. You wouldn't know me if you saw me. I look like any other man. I might live down the street, and you might call me friend. But there's one thing for certain, and it's crystal clear to me. I'll be somewhere searching out the lonely. I'm the invader, an alien being. I got no heart, I got no soul, but an evil mind. I'm the invader, an alien being, and I'm seeking out the lonely every night. No one knows where I come from or where I'll go from here. You might stay home with her tonight and show her that you care. You could come home unexpected, trying to beat that rising sun. Two shadows there in a dim lit room, and watch me start to run. I'm the invader, an alien being. I got no heart, I got no soul, but an evil mind. I'm the invader, an alien being, and I'm seeking out the lonely every night.
Now, there's been lots of talking about things that fly around. I thought they were quite silly till one hit my hometown. They seem to be so shiny with lights of green and blue, and everyone who saw them, they said it wasn't true. UFO, 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 go away. Don't you know? This ain't no place to stay. The government officials, the people in the know, they didn't know what to tell us about the UFO. Tried to reassure us that things would be alright. Just be very careful what you watch at night. UFO, 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 go away. Don't you know, this ain't no place to stay. I don't know where you came from, I don't know where you've been. I just know that you've left us with lots of figuring. UFO, 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 UFO.
It's storming outside, it must be 20 below. Well, the foreman just called, he said, get ready to go. Power's on down around the park, and a whole bunch of houses are dark. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. There's a 40-mile wind, ice all over the ground. We got a transformer out, and I know we gotta bring it down. Well, to climb that pole on that ice, I know I'm gonna risk my life. Well, this old line, but I gotta get the lights turned on. I'm a power line man and I work in the heat and the cold. Yeah, the weather don't matter when I know I gotta climb that pole. Many nights I left my baby at home alone. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. That's what the foreman say. I'm a working on a hotline, they're just a few feet away.
I touch that wire just right, there'll be one less slimer tonight. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. Yeah, all you rounders, guess you better be told. If you mess with my baby, I'll climb you like an 80-foot pole. If I catch you with her tonight, I'm gonna put out your lights. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. I'm a power line man and I work in the heat and the cold. Yeah, the weather don't matter when I know I gotta climb that pole. Many nights I left my baby at home alone. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned on. I'm a power line man, gotta get the lights turned
on. I heard a song the other day, it's really going strong. The more I heard it being played, the more I like the song. It's good a beat, it's really neat, it ought to make you sing. The guy keeps singing that he's good, a tiger by the tail.
Oh tiger, tiger, big old yellow cat, long black stripes running round his stomach and his back. Tiger, tiger, that seems to be the craze. Looks like we're going through another tiger phase.
This friend of mine just bought a brand new car, it seems. He said that it was something like an answer to his dreams. But soon the trouble started, the car won't budge for beam, till some darn fool done put a tiger in his gasoline.
Oh tiger, tiger, big old yellow cat, long black stripes running round his stomach and his back. Tiger, tiger, it seems to be the craze. Looks like we're going through another tiger phase.
I guess this thing got started quite some years ago. Exactly how it happened, no one really knows. It swept across the country like a storm across the sea, when someone hollered, oh that tiger, she's the one for me.
Oh tiger, tiger, big old yellow cat, long black stripes running round his stomach and his back. Tiger, tiger, it seems to be the craze. Looks like we're going through another tiger phase.
Daddy, why do people laugh at us?
My little girl stays in every day. No children come by to play. We live right next door to the school. The children there are mighty cruel.
Daddy, why did Tommy Lobster go?
My baby's legs are bent and deformed. Her little arms with crab claws adorned. She smiles though the world treats her cold. Her hair is a halo of gold.
Daddy, why did Tommy do this way?
Don't question the will of the Father. Be thankful He saved your poor soul. you'll get a new body in heaven. I'd rather be holy than whole. The children who taught you will learn. Their souls and their bodies will burn. You'll laugh while eternity rolls. I'd rather be holy than whole. And don't question the will of the Father. Be thankful He saved your poor soul. You'll get a new body in heaven. I'd rather be holy than whole.
Daddy, I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, with all due respect to the laws of our country, hear this message. Hangman, go home, we don't need you anymore. Hangman, we shouldn't die by our hand. We don't have the right to take this man's life. Remember, if we're wrong, it's too late. It's written in the good book, thou shalt not kill. What makes us think our law is an excuse? Hangman, go home, we don't need you anymore. Hangman, he shouldn't die by our hand. You want this on your conscience? Is this what we call justice? Remember, if we're wrong, it's too late. If we can call ourselves a civilized nation, he shouldn't die by our hand. Hangman, go home, we don't need you anymore. Hangman, he shouldn't die by our hand. No, he shouldn't die by our hand.
You've heard songs of rock and roll, and I'm sure you've heard songs wrote a long time ago. But I wonder if you've ever heard 12 Years on Death Row. This is about a man who was brave and strong. You know, they say this man did a lot of wrong, but we the people let this man make a good stay. And then yet some of us had to take this poor man's life away. Why, there must have been in him some good. Just look at the book he wrote, and no one's life he had actually took. They wouldn't listen to Mr. Allen, Mr. Brando, and Shirley MacLaine. They went ahead and took this poor man's life away. You know, I wonder if they really sleep good at night, for deep down, they know that they didn't do him right. Someday, they gonna have to go up to those pearly gates, and there's old St. Peter that they've got to face. He'll say, turn, sinner, and go away, for here in these pearly gates, you know you can't stay, for a man's life you have took, and you know that's just a good book. Yes, even the commandments you have broke, and with that, sinner, you know you can't joke. After all, Carl Chessman did pay, not only with his life, but the sleepless nights that he just lay. Ah, you may wonder why all this I know, but you see, I too, Hoyle Miller, was once on death row.
There's a man who lives in death row, praying to the skies, asking mercy and forgiveness, for if not he dies. Years without a soul to talk to in his lonely cell, fighting hard to save his life with what the law books tell. Think of all the years he's suffered, still he wouldn't bend. Think of all the times that he's prepared to meet his end. There's a man who lives in death row, praying to the skies, asking mercy and forgiveness, for if not he dies. They all say he was a good boy until he went wrong. Then they locked him in a jail cell till his youth was gone. Though he may have been a wild lad, now he's paid the price. Paid with lonely years in death row, fighting for his life. Once they say he was a sinner, and he may deny, but he never killed a man. Does he deserve to die? There's a man who lives in death row, praying to the skies, asking mercy and forgiveness, for if not he dies, for if not he dies, for if not he dies, for if not he dies.
So you're leaving tomorrow, they're setting you free. Sit down, boy, now and listen to me. I'm a lifetimer, I've got a long way to go. See that man standing there? Watch out, son, don't let him see you stare. He's a lifetimer, he's got a long way to go. See that boy with his head bowed down, walking along, staring at the ground. He's a lifetimer, he's got a long way to go. These words an old man said to me the night before they set me free, and I'll remember the old man's words the longest day that I live.
When you're a lifetimer, you've got a long way to go.
Then I returned to my hometown with the same old gang started hanging around. Then I remembered what the old man said to me. When you're a lifetimer, you've got a long way to go. A year's gone by since I quit the gang. In the papers I read of a tragic thing. One is dead, the others are doing life. Remember, son, when you're doing life, it's endless days and sleepless nights. When you're a lifetimer, you've got a long way to go. These words an old man said to me the night before they set me free, and I'll remember the old man's words the longest day that I live. When you're a lifetimer, you've got a long way to go. When you're a lifetimer, you've got a long way to go. When you're a lifetimer, you've got a long way to go.
The sun shines no more. I was rich and now I'm poor. They gave me a life in here. This here cell of old walls. Yes, the cell of old walls. When I killed, it was my downfall. My life is locked behind these bars. In this cell of old walls. No more freedom for me. No carry women to see. Like a beast locked in its stall. I'm in a prison cell of old walls.
Now there's always someone quicker and much faster on the draw. Remember these few words, son. They're the last ones from your pa. I don't have much to leave you, boy. Just these guns I always wore.
I recall that dark blue day, I knew what was in store. I didn't listen to him, I stood there looking around. A bullet hole in him, he lay dying on the ground. He was fast, but he was spare with gun and foreign aid. Till some young kid rode into town to cash in on his fame. Took my dad's old gun and belt and hung them on my hips. Rode away not looking back with a vow upon my lips. All I've done these past 5 years was shoot and shoot some more. Waiting for that fateful day when I'll even up that score. On one odd day I rode to town, my girl I had to see. As I rode past the bar room, a voice called to me. Got a funny feeling by the way he called my name. Knew right then that one of us would die because of fame.
There's always someone quicker, much faster on the draw. Remember these few words, son, the last ones from your pa.
That man that's out in front of me, he shot my dad that day. He just took one quick look at me and then he made his play. He cursed just as I shot him, I knew my aim was true. Before my bullet hit him, he knew that he was through. A friend of his got back to me and shot me from behind. I've lived a life of loneliness and hatred now I find. The only friends I've ever had are the ones upon
faster on the draw. Remember these few words, son, the last ones from your pa. I don't have much to leave you, boy, just these guns I always wore.
As I recall that dark blue day, I knew what was in store.
Down at the corner on the street where I live, there's an empty cottage, number 3012. The couple who lived there were young and fancy-free, seemed to be contented and happy as could be. But rumors travel fast on the street where I live. Soon everyone was talking about the kids at 3012. Every morning just at 9 he would drive away. Soon a stranger would appear, what more is there to say? Down at the corner on the street where I live, there's an empty cottage, number 3012. One day he returned just a little after 9, in time to see the stranger as he quickly stepped inside. He ran up the walkway and lunged through the door. Shots rang out and then a crash upon the floor. They carried out the stranger and the young man's wife. Then he was sent to prison for the rest of his life. Down at the corner on the street where I live, there's an empty cottage, number 3012.
There's an empty cottage, number 3012.
In the year of 38, in the city's eastern slum, a little girl named Molly into this world had come. She was one of 9 without enough to eat, with no place to play but a dirty city street. When Molly was but 16 years, she became the bride of a Scottish criminal, and they stood side by side. Still she helped her family till the year of 58, when an old oil stove exploded. This would seal her fate. The explosion killed her mother and her little sisters too. She saw where they had burned, and there was nothing she could do. This changed her completely, she would never be the same. Since that day her family died in the angry flame. Then Molly found another man to help her make a home, but he too was a criminal and he wouldn't be around for long. For soon he'd be convicted and sent to Kingston Pen, and Molly would be left alone, weary days would start again. Then on that bright September morn in the north of Montreal, 3 bandits walked into a bank to make another haul. They cleaned the cash drawers one by one, then backed into the sun, and clutching in her tiny hand a deadly machine gun. And on the same September morn, the shots rang loud and clear, and Molly in the getaway car felt the end was near. 2 more shots and the morning sun tore into her chest,
And Molly was dead and still at last, and now she's laid to rest. And Molly was dead and still at last, and now she's laid to rest. And Molly was dead and still at last, and now she's laid to rest. And Molly was dead and still at last, and now.
Well, high in the hills of Nookmont land lived a little old New England boy. A master deuce and crossbows, selling them to Troy boys who worked in a bar downtown in spite of the war. Troy was living high on the hog and on the train. He had a fleet of sick loads, and every now and then he'd sell a little green in spite of the war. I'ma tell it like it is, in spite of the war. Joy had personality. He had a 2.5-ton truck. And every week he'd go to Cameron Bay and steal anything worth a buck. In spite of the war. In spite of the war. Joy always had a villa on the train where he cached a couple of coats. And every night when he'd go home he'd sit and watch them pick their nose. In spite of the war. In spite of the war. They kept one long fingernail. Joy would go out in his party. Sometimes he'd blow his cool. But one of these days somebody gonna tell him his 1049's disapproved and he can't extend. In spite of the war. No, we gotta go home. In spite of the war. And it's all over now. In spite of the war.
Now, if you're a musician born way back in Tennessee like I was, you'd know there's only one place to play, the Opry. That's where it's at. So after many, many years, I thought I was ready. I packed up, carried my instrument down to the Opry, got out on the stage, and turned it on. And this little fella way up in the Confederate balcony says, "What do you want?" And I says, "I want to audition." And he says, "What you got there? That ain't no fiddle." And I says, "Well, you just listen to this." And he says, "Don't that beat all? What else can it do?" I says, "Well, what else do you need?" "Well," he says, "they always needs good pickers." And I said, "Well, I'm going to lay something else on you now." "I'll tell you one thing," he says, "that's got so many wires on it, looks like a stump full of daddy long legs." "What is it?" "Mister," I says, "this here's a cotton-picking, finger-licking, barbecued 110-volt Nashville Moog." I'd have been there till now, but something happened. You don't happen to have a fuse on you, do you?